Oh my god, this is crazy!
Middle of nowhere gaming.com. Everybody go to that website. Say we sent you.
Yeah, get that traffic up.
I bet they're really good at Minecraft. They're probably the antithesis of us.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 71 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined by my left shark, the Nintendo Ninja, Lou.
Woo! Left shark, I've won!
And my right shark, the Destiny demigod, Miles.
Carpe diem. Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary.
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
Really? Even with the Carpe diem?
Nope.
No.
Dead Poets Society?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh, okay.
Damn. So the whole left shark, right shark joke, I wanted to make that like last week or the week before, or whatever the week post, Super Bowl was, and I forgot, and then the next week, neither of you guys were on, so now we're doing it like 3 weeks later.
It's still relevant.
It's still incredible. It might even be more relevant than post Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's blowing up on the internet. It's a meme. It's awesome.
People love Left Shark for whatever reason.
Did you guys see Panda Musk, his animated little left shark thing?
Can't say I did.
Oh god, you guys should look at that. It's pretty funny. But alright, before we get going, we finally have the More Than the Score podcast up, so if you haven't listened to the first episode, you should definitely go download that and go check it out or watch it on YouTube.
Can I say?
Yeah.
That is a killer name. Who thought that one up?
More Than the Score? That was Brian.
Oh, that is a
done,
great
Brian.
name.
The original idea was to have it like a Super Street Fighter, Delta Force, Ultra, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. One of those crazy ass names. And then all of a sudden Brian was like, what about like More Than the Score? And we were all like, yeah, that's really good. So that just kind of went from there. But yeah, the first episode has interviews with Harry about Citizens of Earth, Jake about Grim Fandango Remastered, and then myself about Dying Light. And then episode 2 will be up on Monday, and it's going to have, I believe, the interview for Evolve, the interview for Monster Hunter, and I think the interview for Zelda. I believe that's the case. And possibly the interview for The Order, depending on how that goes. So look out for that second episode. And then, if you haven't already listened to the spoiler casts, we had 3 spoiler casts go up in the last week. One about Dying Light, one about Life is Strange episode 1, and one about Game of Thrones episodes 1 and 2. So if you've played through any of those and want to go check out our thoughts on it while we talk about the ending and all the major plot points, we have those up there. Both on our normal podcast RSS feed and on YouTube. And then, if you haven't already heard, we've started a new YouTube channel. So there's the normal MONG Network channel, which has all of our podcasts and has trailers and stuff like that. But we now have a channel called MONG Plays, and it's going to be for all of our Let's Play videos, all of our live stream archives and stuff like that. We'll be putting up there. So, do us a favor and go subscribe there if you like those kind of videos. Hopefully we'll have a bunch of them going up soon. We've already got, 6 Let's Play videos recorded this past weekend that are slowly going up. We had, a long live stream that we're making highlights from that we're putting up there. And then we have a huge backlog and archive of Let's Play videos that haven't, been advertised in a while. So there's a bunch of old videos up there if anybody wants to go check those out too. But, yeah, so before we get going on, does you guys have anything you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
I want to hear what everyone's playing, because I want to share what I'm playing.
Okay. You want to start, or you want to hear from us first?
I want to hear from you guys first.
Miles, what are you playing?
I just want to say, I feel like the way that you're prefacing this with I want to hear what you guys say first. Is like, you're gonna say you're playing the new Barbie Pretty Princess game, and you're just trying to feel out what we're doing. Anyway, I'm playing a lot of Lethal League. It's an indie. It's like a fighting game that uses a baseball to kill your opponents. So, everyone should look into that. Lethal League. It's great.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. I'm actually not currently playing anything. I'm in one of those awkward phases where I have a game coming out that I'm reviewing in a few days. And so I don't want to start anything big. And I just finished up, my playthrough of like Freedom Wars and, what else? I was playing Dying Light a lot. And so like I'm in this really awkward transition phase where I'm just playing through little things. So over the weekend I started IDARB on Xbox, and it's awesome. I started, let's see, what else was there? Volgar the Viking, Apotheon.
How'd you like Volgar?
That game is shit. Oh god. I started, Apotheon, Rogue Legacy. I started, I don't even remember. There were several little bitty games that I put in a good 30 minutes or so playing and got a little bit of experience with some of those indie games that I hadn't in a while. So it was nice. Oh, and I also, like I said, went through Life is Strange episode 1 and Game of Thrones 1 and 2. So I finally got those played. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice. I am, besides working on something that is currently embargoed for review, so I can't really talk about it. But everyone make sure to read that review. I'm working on Dragon Age still, as I've mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And I think it's really funny because I play it a lot between New Jersey and New York. New York is where I live for school. New Jersey is where I live on the weekends, basically. So I'm here playing it in New York. And you've played it, Courtney, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you took every dialogue option available? For the most part.
What do you mean?
Just that, like, you exhausted conversations.
Oh yeah. I dug deep into each one of them.
Right. So, for anyone, who knows how the game works, you could go 3 hours at a time in between major story missions, just listening to conversation and story. And unfortunately, that's all my roommate has seen me do. And he's like, I thought that this was supposed to be like an action game. Like, I haven't seen you do any kind of combat. You just sit here talking to people. So, that is, his experience with Dragon Age. I'm loving it. I'm 60 hours in.
60 hours, not bad.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how far that puts me. I just went to the ball. That ball thing in, not Empress Duelion, in, Van Royale. Van Royale, I thought.
No, it's Empress Duelion.
Well, wherever. Yeah, I don't want to get into spoiler territory for anyone who has not gotten this far.
I mean, it depends on how much side questing stuff you do, but that feels like it's about halfway, right?
Oh my
Something
god.
like that.
It's somewhere in there. If you're just playing through the story, obviously you can play through the second half of the game really quickly. But if you're going to be doing side quests, it's going to take you like it did me. It took me 120 hours to finally get done.
Yeah, there are still places that I have not even went to. I'm 60 hours in. And I haven't went to like half of the territories.
That sounds like me. Yep. I spent the first 30 hours in the frickin' hinterlands. So, I mean, I understand.
That's still the best tip I ever got about the game. Get out of the hinterlands.
Just leave.
Yeah. You got quests there? Don't worry about it. Just leave.
And one of the things I just think is incredible about the game, we never got to do a spoiler cast about this, I don't believe.
No.
I just love how every main mission feels like it's the last mission of the game.
Yeah, it does have that feel.
Yeah, I've never played a mission and it just went, okay, well I can see where this leads. I'm always like, this should be the end, right? If they cut it off right here, this would be a great game. I'd be totally okay with this. And then it just keeps going.
I actually kind of thought that when the Corypheus attacks you in the first place, Haven, I was like, oh god, the end of the game already? I guess I've played this longer than I thought I did. Well, I guess it's over. Oh, it's not over. Oh, I've got a lot to do. Oh.
Alright.
You ready to move on?
Yep.
To the news from nowhere? Maybe?
The news from nowhere!
Yeah, there you go. Alright, so we got, 12 stories on the list today? Yep, 12.
A baker's dozen.
Number 1, ignoring that. The Sony exclusive, The Order 1886, has been in the news a lot lately due to its estimated short playtime. However, Radiant Dawn's chief technical officer finally put the rumors to rest. He addressed speculations recently at an event in Milan. According to the developer, the Order 1886 has an average playtime of 8 to 10 hours and could be completed in 5.5 hours if the player rushes. The YouTuber Play Me Through proclaimed that the game takes around 5 hours to complete, even while taking it slow. However, other outlets are reporting differently. Many have also said that the game is very cutscene heavy and QuickTime event heavy. The YouTuber who uploaded that, as we talked about on a QuickTime event yesterday, he didn't upload all of the videos, so there are several chapters of the game that are missing from his playthrough. And then later confirmed that his playthrough was a speed run. He didn't take the time to look for any collectibles whatsoever. He literally ran from spot to spot, from cutscene to cutscene, from checkpoint to checkpoint. So yeah, any game you play, if you run through, you can complete it really fast compared to taking your time. So it's not really surprising.
I feel like going on collection runs and quests shouldn't be included in playtime, honestly. That's
I don't feel like a speed run should be considered the playtime though.
Oh, it shouldn't be, but like
that's like saying that Mega Man you could beat in 20 minutes, so it's a 20-minute game.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, but like I don't know, just like saying that he didn't go for collectibles. It's like I don't know that every player who picks up this game is going to go for collectibles. Because personally, like if I see them while I'm walking, sure I'll go get them. But like if I don't, I will never pick them up because I'm not one of the players that like seeks to platinum everything he plays. So
I totally get what you mean there, but I feel like you're defending this too much to the point like. The developer said an average play time is 8 to 10 hours, and that's typically what a developer says, or anybody who describes a game's playtime. They don't ever use the speed run. And while you may not look for collectibles or whatever, you may go through an area slower than he did because he, was getting from checkpoint to checkpoint, just sprinting through. While you may crouch, you may walk around some corners, you may go through it a little bit slower, which could add another hour or two to your playtime. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird way of describing it or classifying it, the time it takes to beat by just saying the 5.5 hours to speed run it.
Right. The way I see it, I don't really care.
Yeah.
How it matters to me is if they're able to tell me a great and compelling story with a beautiful realized world, I don't care how long it took to tell me that story. It could be a 2-hour story, in which case it is basically like going to see a movie, or it can be 5 hours, or 10 hours, or in the case of Dragon Age Inquisition, 120 hours. So I mean, if it is 5 hours, which it might be, or if it's 8 hours, that's great. I'm more inclined to know how the gameplay feels, how the story is, and how well that world is realized. And I can't wait to see the reviews and our review on it.
We will know the total playtime Thursday morning when the embargo goes up. Everybody will know immediately that it's however long it is. But like, this was... I just find this news so strange, the fact that this has taken off so negatively so fast, because it was literally one person who put it up on YouTube and said that, while several other publications who have a review copy have said that's false, ours is about 12 hours, ours is over 10 hours, ours is, and a lot of people have even said, I'm not going for collectibles and mine is still over 8 hours already. It's just, I don't know. I just find this whole situation really strange. But it happens so often. Like, this happened for Uncharted 3 when it came out, and there was another big game. Obviously, it happened for Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes last year. But there was another one, too, recently. I don't know. The time it takes to beat a game, I feel like that's weird news.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand that logic, because, like, I know time is not the same thing as a good game. Like, this game was 500 hours. Like, were they good hours?
Yeah, exactly.
If they no, then you just wasted your time. But I still feel like, personally in my opinion, I would not pay, if the game actually were 5.5 hours, let's say theoretically or hypothetically it is, if it were actually 5.5 hours, I probably wouldn't buy it, not for $60 anyway. Cause like, I understand that, yeah, it's only 5 hours, but it's a great 5 hours. Like, yeah, it's great, but if I'm paying $60 for something, I want to spend more than 5 hours with it.
Yeah, well, and that's one of those subjective, personal, everyone has their own opinion about how they want to spend their $60 kind of thing. Because, I kind of have an issue with the way this whole thing was handled based on the fact that people blew up and have started a shitstorm online about it and have like been very, very loudly negative about it on Facebook and Twitter and stuff about how this is stupid. There's no way in hell they're spending $60 on something, blah, 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 That's, to me, what that is like is coming out and saying that just about any game you dislike or don't ever want to play. So say, Miles, for instance, you think that Uncharted, the entire series, looks stupid and you never want to play it. Are you going to go everywhere on the internet and say, this game looks stupid as shit, I'm not into these kind of games, blah, blah, it's not worth my $60?
Before any hate mail, I've never said that in my life.
Exactly. Like, it's just, that's the point I'm trying to make, is that why are people causing such a shitstorm about this? It's the same thing as doing something like that. Like,
it's the internet.
I know. It's a negative minority who's so loud. It's just frustrating. Very frustrating.
It's almost like they took a picture at GameStop of two games side by side and posted it online.
I wonder who did that.
Just for some backstory in case you guys listening aren't on the Podcast Beyond group. I did that. I went and finally bought The Evil Within, but it was on sale at GameStop. The new copy was $20. The used copy was $60. I took a picture of them side by side and put GameStop logic, and I had an avalanche of people like trying to explain to me why that happens, and
the funniest part was
not funny.
The funniest part was that nobody or the people who were arguing against us didn't understand that we already know the logic, like we understand the business part of it, like we totally get it, and it was still funny. It was a joke, not made in order to make GameStop look like the shittiest business out there. It was just so funny to see the sale price for the new one way less than the used price.
Right. The moral of the story is some people on the internet exist just to be miserable and drag people down.
Yep. Totally with you there. But not our listeners. Our listeners are awesome.
All of them.
All of them.
100%.
Moving on to number 2.
Most of the percents.
Except for, those.
Alright, moving on to number 2. Daybreak Games Company, formerly known as Sony Online Entertainment, has been hit with layoffs shortly after its sale to investment firm Columbus Nova. Daybreak spokesperson Michelle Cagle said both its San Diego, California and Austin, Texas studios are being affected by the layoffs. The move is strategic decision to rationalize the business. This alignment of resources better positions the newly independent studio for future growth opportunities and developments. The company will continue on its mission to partner with its players, community to drive the future. Now that just sounds like complete PR talk.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah. And the last footnote.
It is.
Here,
they're talking about firing people. And
You're right.
Oh god, that's gross. Sorry, go on.
EverQuest franchise director of development, David Georgeson, was one of those affected by the layoffs. No further details are known on the amount of positions that were terminated. As much as I'm adding sound effects and, weird pronunciations of names and words apparently, this is awful news. This is really sad.
Yeah.
I feel bad that, this happens in the industry a lot. It's not surprising that it followed the sale to the investment firm, because that just sounded evil in general. But, I really do wish everyone the best. Luckily, I think, game development is still open enough that if you worked on something in SOE, you're gonna be in a better spot to get a job than some of these fledgling indie developers. Or you could go into the indie space and do whatever the hell you want to do, because that is more successful than ever nowadays.
How weird is it that SOE is no longer a thing? We can't really use that anymore.
It is a very strange and Columbus Nova, that doesn't even sound like, it sounds like it's a video game company name, but it also sounds like it should be a superhero, but they're actually an evil corporation that's gonna be like the what are they called? Umbrella of video game development. But, yeah, this is very sad. It always sucks to see, people losing their jobs, especially in this, industry. But I mean, as we've said many times before, and as we've seen many times before, they see people are losing their jobs here at this like really successful company. All the other ones are just like, hey, our doors are open. Just come walk on through them. You got a job. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about as gross as the Irrational when it shrunk, when it let go of so many of those people, and their press release for that was just about as bad.
Now, I hope that this isn't like the entirety of their press release, right?
I think there was more.
Okay. Hopefully there was something in there framing like, I'm sorry for, we're sorry and we wish the best to everyone parting. That's the thing that struck me about Irrational was it had none of that. That was the worst one to date because I remember they just framed everything about what they wanted to do now and how this is going to be so great for the company.
It's just like one sentence about shrinking size or whatever.
Right.
Oh, it was horrible. Okay, so you want to move on? I feel like we're going to the pits.
All right.
Let's move to the new good news.
All right. Okay, it is about frickin' time. PlayStation Network is allowing users with sub-accounts to upgrade to master accounts, along with all of the added allure. I don't know who has their mouse in the middle of that word, but that made it extremely difficult to read that word.
Wasn't me.
Many users who were previously under the age of 18 when they signed up with a PSN account were originally asked to create sub-accounts to help monitor and restrict access to messaging, monthly spending, and gameplay broadcasts. The official PlayStation blog has announced that for the first time, those accounts will have the option to upgrade to master accounts, allowing full access to all PlayStation features for anyone who is 18 years or older. For now, the upgrade is only possible on the web, but it will be made available directly through PlayStation 4 sometime in the future. So check out the PlayStation blog to go find all that, how to do that. Did either of you create a sub account whenever you sign up for PSN?
I don't know who would. I'm pretty sure most people just lied and put in a different age.
See, that's what I did growing up on everything. On Xbox 360 was what I played during my teenage years, and I always made my account say I was 18.
Yep.
I never actually had that issue because I got my PS3 after I was 18.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I didn't get a PS3 until I was like 20 or 21, but on 360 I made a sub, or I could have made a sub account, but I didn't.
No, see, Lou didn't have the issue because he's perpetually old enough. That's his superpower.
He's always had a beard.
Yeah.
That is true, actually.
Since he was a kid, he's just always had a beard.
I will share some knowledge with you about my life. I started shaving in 3rd grade.
Oh God.
My God.
Yeah, a little bit of the mustache hair, a little bit of the sideburns. That's when I got my first razor and I've been shaving since.
That Italian in you coming out.
I always wanted a beard and mustache, but I would hate to have had to live through that.
Yeah, I was quite depressed coming up through high school when I was like, the guy in the class who had the least amount of facial hair. It's like, damn it, this sucks. Now I don't have that problem, but I did in high school. So
lopsided.
This sub-account thing is good news for many PSN users out there, because I'm sure there was a lot of them that made sub-accounts. The next thing we need is frickin' name change ability.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful when that happens.
Yeah.
I think that this may be the start of that, though, definitely.
Me too.
Besides the fact that, it just came out of nowhere, which is fantastic. Like, they didn't warn anybody about this. But, the fact that it has to do with tampering with account settings, I think that they're probably in the prime position to do that. My guess is they actually most likely can do that now. I think they're waiting for E3.
Yeah. You know how excellent of a prediction that would have been for 2015? We could finally change our names. Wait, did somebody make that?
I don't know, actually.
I don't think so. But we can move on. I'll go look that up.
Excuse me. Yeah. I can finally get Furious Milk.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Assuming no one takes it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys. Speaking of predictions, that Fallout one was dead on for the second year.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if that's dead on. I mean,
Okay.
we all pretty much believe it is, but still.
No, I don't believe. I'll be the devil's advocate here. I don't believe that's what they're going to do. I believe it's going to be another Skyrim. Skyrim 2.
Nobody made the PSN prediction, so.
Okay. Well, those points go to the ether then.
Yep.
We'll give that to Colin Moriarty. He gets one hypothetical point.
On a podcast that he's never appeared on.
Yet, sir.
Yes.
Yet.
I was still right. I said never appeared on.
That's true.
That's in the past.
Alright, let's move on. Try to pronounce this name, Lou.
If you can't, I want to do it.
Ooh. Alright, number 4. Tomanabu.
Nabu? I would think it would be Tomanobu.
Tomanobu
Yeah.
Itagaki,
There you go.
who is best known for the Dead or Alive and the modern Ninja Gaiden series, hinted that the Wii U exclusive Fatal Frame 5, or Fatal Frame Oracle of the Sodden Raven, as it's known in Japan, could come to North America. While replying to a question on Facebook, Itagaki had this to say, "Hey guys."
Oh,
Sorry.
the stumble is real.
Well, he had a reason for that one.
Had this you say.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I strongly believe that, damn it, Kikuchi Kisuki will release the I don't care. The Fatal Frame 5 in America in many countries. He and me have same philosophy from Tecmo days. That's what I can say for now. I want you guys to read between the lines. Anyway, I will play this game.
There's not a whole lot between the lines for that. I'm just saying. Go on.
Maybe it's lost in translation.
Maybe.
That was super vague in Japanese, believe me. It should be pointed out that Tomanobu Itagaki has no real say of the game's release because he's not working on it. Instead, he is working on his own game, Devil's Third, an action game exclusively for the Wii U. So it is entirely possible that Fatal Frame 5 won't release to the US. Still, the small bit of news can give US fans hope that it will come to North America. Fatal Frame 5 has been out since September 2014 in Japan without real news of its release to North America.
I don't know about you guys, but I guess Miles isn't really included in this conversation since he doesn't have a Wii U.
Nope.
I'm a huge fan of horror games, and Fatal Frame looks like crazy, creepy, scary, and I would love for an experience like that to be on Wii U. You know, like that sounds awesome.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't played Fatal Frame. I don't know if you've played Fatal Frame.
I've not played any of them yet.
However, doesn't it revolve around a camera? Like, I think a camera is a main mechanic, thus Fatal Frame.
That was in at least one of them.
Right.
Well, I think that's in the title, Fatal Frame.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know that mechanic was at least specific to one of them. I don't know if it's all of them, but I can confirm one of them.
Right. So if that is a proper understanding, then this would be great for, I mean,
The gamepad?
I think it would be fantastic for me to play. It already exists, so we could probably look up gameplay videos if we weren't lazy, but this is some Japanese game and I don't understand what they're doing.
The concept of the game comes from Japanese style horror, which revolves around Japanese buildings using cameras and the fear of getting wet. The game takes place in a big environment involving mountains, lakes, and graveyards. According to the game producer, there will be many damp areas and quite scary figures like the traditional Japanese ghost girls who appear completely drenched in water, like The Grudge or whatever. And then the Wii U gamepad will have a camera feature that shows things you normally can't see with your eyes, and it will also be used as some sort of weapon. So like, you won't be able to see it on the screen, the TV screen, but if you move up the gamepad, you'll see it in front of you.
Terrifying.
Yeah, right? Like, oh my god.
There's a few 3DS games just like that.
I would shit my pants. All of a sudden there's like ghosts all around me, like, oh. God.
Right.
And then it would be Oracle of the Sodden Pants. Okay, sorry, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of what makes horror games great is the instillment of fear, and that whole disconnect between the Wii U gamepad and the TV, which is naturally there, is great for games. That's why Zombie U is so beloved by its core audience.
Yeah, I've played Zombie U and I love it. I have it, so awesome game.
There you go, sterling reviews.
Alrighty, Miles.
Yep, okay. Moving on to story 5 out of the 12 that we've got today. January's NPD numbers indicated that Dying Light was the front runner in retail sales in the month of January, and it was also the only game in the top 10 that was released in the month. The top 10 are as follows: Dying Light, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Grand Theft Auto 5, wow, still up there, Minecraft, still up there, NBA 2K15, Super Smash Bros., and that includes the Wii U and 3DS, Far Cry 4, Madden NFL 15, Destiny, and FIFA 15. The NPD is also announced that the PS4 sold more than the Xbox One in the month of January, taking back that title, yeah. But hardware sales as a whole are declining, with the current generation consoles down 35% and previous generations down 22%. Don't say it's a comeback. Anyone gets that reference.
Yeah, I'm not surprised the Dying Light won January when it was, the only major brand new IP that came out or anything like that, a brand new big name game, and the fact that it took off because of Twitch streams and YouTube Let's Plays and stuff like that. Like, that game picked up popularity really, really, really fast.
Right. That's actually why I'm surprised, because that was all a word of mouth game.
Yeah,
I kind of knew about Dying Light. Everyone said it was going to be good. I don't think I'd really went into a lot of gameplay videos, but the next, it was just one day, everyone was talking about it.
Well, it's like PT, remember? That thing picked up steam so fast.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that works with a lot of horror games.
Yep. That's true.
I'm not sure so much about Dying Light. I think it was more the mechanics of that. Maybe it was the horror element. I still haven't played it.
I mean, every time I see Dying Light, I have to actually make myself consciously not buy it. And that's I hate zombies. That's actually a very, very impressive feat.
Yeah, it's not coming from the guy who reviewed it and has been on a recent spoiler cast about it. I don't think it has anything to do with one specific part of the game. Everyone just says the game is fun. That is the one constant about that game, that it picked up. Everyone saw Let's Plays for, everyone saw live streams and was like, oh my god, this looks awesome. But, so yeah. Not surprising.
I can't wait to see next month, considering that, the orders this month, considering that the orders coming out, Dragon Ball Z, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, Evolve, Dragon Ball Z, the Order. Then the Nintendo games, you got Monster Hunter's doing really well right now.
Yeah, Monster Hunter did.
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is doing really well, yep. Sorry, go on.
I want to see this whole list change this month.
Right? Just a full list of new games. That would be awesome. That would be a good sign for the industry. However, it's doubtful. We'll probably still see FIFA and Destiny on there. And Minecraft.
Minecraft is just going to be there for the rest of time.
Yep. It's never going to slow down. It's interesting that Minecraft is still selling better on 360 and PS3 than it is on Xbox One and PS4.
That's a good point.
But I didn't see that until just now. That's really interesting. And I also find it interesting that FIFA also had a rank from Nintendo Wii. What?
Wow.
Wii ranked better than the Vita and 3DS versions of FIFA, which I didn't know existed.
Well, the industry is a strange, beautiful beast.
Yeah. So before we move on to that next story, I wanted to bring up that I just saw. You know who Wario64 is on Twitter?
Nope.
He's an X video game deals guy, is how he describes that, and X video or game trailers news guy. Mm-hmm. He always posts about deals he sees as quickly as he can. He posts links to all the deals and stuff. Apparently, Best Buy on the week of
I was just going to mention this.
February 22nd, if you buy a PlayStation 4, you get a free PlayStation TV.
Wow, that's the Best Buy is just doing it for them at that point.
Right?
Sounds good.
Like, if you haven't got a PS4 yet, I don't know what else is included in that bundle, but getting a PlayStation TV, which would allow you to play any Vita game, basically, like, that's a damn good deal.
Yeah.
And then that same week, Target's gonna have a buy one, get one free deal. I'm not sure if it's just on Ubisoft games, but it looks like he has Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Just Dance 2015, The Crew, and Watch Dogs up there. But, it's 2 really nice deals coming up next week. Be on the lookout for those if you're interested in those games or getting a PS TV or PlayStation 4. Okay. But, let's, move on to story number 6. Square Enix, is apparently going to be posting a Let's Play, video or a stream on this Friday, and it's going to be of the Final Fantasy 15 demo, episode Dusuke. The stream will be done by the game director, Hajime Tabata. You'll be able to find the live stream on YouTube, but not on Twitch, at 8 p.m. Japanese time, or 11 a.m. GMT, or 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you do the math, figure out when that is for you. During the live stream, he will be explaining some basic controls and for the gameplay of the episode or episode Dusuke. Furthermore, you'll be able to see some never before seen footage. Square Enix said that they will that the veil will finally be lifted for Final Fantasy 15. So whether or not that means that we're going to finally get a release date or, something else, something big, it sounds like they're going to finally be showing us more, during this, demo. And, I don't know, I find this whole thing weird. They're live streaming their demo.
I mean, it's better than that live stream that, what are they called? Ready at Dawn did for the Order, where it was literally just them playing the demo that people had seen like millions of times already, 2 times, and then it went off. Yeah. And it wasn't even any kind of there was no, what's it called? Commentary, thank you. There was no commentary. It was just them showing the demo twice, and then the stream turned off. I was highly disappointed, needless to say.
I don't know. This is really, really strange to me. Okay, obviously it makes sense to advertise Final Fantasy 15, compared to Type 0, but it just, when you take a step back, obviously we understand that. We understand that Final Fantasy 15 is a bigger game, but it's just so weird to think that they're advertising this demo like 10 times more than they are Type 0. Like the game that you buy in order to get the demo, they're advertising this demo way, way more than they are the game itself.
Right.
I hadn't even thought about that.
I think it also sets a really bad precedent. Like, this is great for some games. Some games I would buy anyway. Maybe this is one of the games I'd buy anyway, but I don't like the idea of getting a first taste of something through buying a game that nobody wants. Hopefully a lot of people want this game, but I feel like a lot of people also will just get it for that demo.
The JRPG audience is really excited about Type 0, especially those in the West, because obviously we haven't got the game yet. This will be our first playthrough, our first chance to play it, and it'll be up-res PS4 and Xbox One, so like everyone's really, really excited about it. Even more excited about finally being able to play a little bit of 15, but that's just a bonus. I mean, there are obviously going to be people who buy it just for the demo, but that's a practice that's happened since the 90s for games. This is not the first time we've got a demo included in a game, and the only way to get it was buying a game. Capcom is notorious for it, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, guys, thank you for your commentary on that. Miles, why don't you take us away with number 7? I love having hosts for over a year that still just go, yup.
Well, I said my piece on that.
I know, but then transition, guys, come on.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Take us
Sony
away,
is clearly
Miles.
care about The Last Guardian's recently rumored demise. Okay, so Sony has spoken to GameSpot about their recent loss of the trademark for The Last Guardian in the U.S. and revealed that they have not given up on it, but they actually just had an administrative error on their end, which led to them not renewing the trademark when they were told that they needed to renew the trademark. The notice was sent on July of last year, so, that gives you a gauge of how long it's been. The odd thing is that no matter how much Sony claims that The Last Guardian is still being worked on, there's still been no news about the title on Western shores. That is why the trademark was canceled by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. The game's director, Fumito Ueda, claimed that his creative contributions have long since been wrapped up. This begs the question of what is the holdup? The only indication as to why this game isn't in our consoles yet was given by Ueda in December of last year when he said that development was moving forward under, and I quote, completely new conditions. Though this might not pertain to this may pertain to The Last Guardian, moving to a PlayStation 4 development title. Yeah, there you go. But there's no telling. So, I think they should just let it die.
I personally, whenever I saw the news break, I thought that it may be a rebranding. So I was like, oh, they just let it, go, and now they're going to rebrand it, and they're going to reveal it at E3, it's going to be this huge thing, but that remains to be seen because we still don't know if they're going to renew the trademark or if they are renaming it. But that was my, initial thought on it before they came out with the statement.
This is a very no-win situation for them because they're having the Duke Nukem complex. Either they never release it, and they get a whole bunch of shit from, the years where they've been saying that it's in development and that it's still working and that it's gonna happen and not to give up hope, or they release it and it doesn't meet people's wild expectations of what this game should be.
Exactly.
I guess rebranding might be the best way to deal with that, and I don't think they are, but this needs to die.
I mean, these are their options. They either rebrand it to the first Guardian, because no one will see that coming, or they let it die like they should have, 2 years ago, because it's been in development for 5 years now, going on 6.
Yeah.
So
I kind of look at it like Versus 13, Final Fantasy Versus 13, and the way it kind of died off on the news, like everybody just stopped talking about it eventually, and then all of a sudden the re-reveal happened at E3 2 years ago, and oh my god, the excitement from the industry just went through the roof, and it's just, can you imagine if they did that? Because it's either they have to rebrand it or re-reveal it this year, or they should just let it go, like you guys are saying, because enough is enough after so long.
You want to be conversational and bring in a pertinent listener question?
Sure.
All right, this one's from Mike Bertrand. He says, Yo, MONG Podcast. Former MONG writer and current podcast listener Mike B here. So it seems like every couple months Sony has to come out and re-announce The Last Guardian is still being worked on. To cap it off, Sony has always been great about officially announcing that games have been canceled. So here's the question part. Why this game? Nobody is constantly asking if Half-Life 3 has been canceled. What is it about The Last Guardian that makes people vicariously crave its collapse? Also, can anything stop the rumor train short of the game hitting store shelves?
Well, first of all, they're not asking if Half-Life 3 has been canceled because it's never been announced to be in development. Correct? Am I wrong there?
I think that's
correct. You're right.
Yeah, I think it was episode 2, or was the last episode. It was like Half-Life 2 episode 2 or something like that. I don't remember, maybe 3. But
no, they never do 3s. It was Half-Life 2 episode 2 with the last one.
I don't think it was ever announced for Half-Life 3, so that's why people don't ask if it's been canceled, they ask when is it coming? When are we going to hear about it? When is it finally going to happen? So that's Half-Life 3 is still a very talked about topic. Whether or not it ever happens, who knows? Go on.
I feel like Sony's trying to use the wrong strategy here. I feel like there's a strategy, where where a developer will kind of keep little nuggets of new information in the news every few months leading up to the release of their game to, keep people excited, keep people wondering, keep people wanting it. I feel like that strategy is supposed to be used if you've got a year, maybe 2 years, or a few months left. Not when it's going on 6 years and you're just every few months oh, it's still coming. It's why? Why is it still coming? Just let it go, alright?
Let it go. Sorry.
No, that's a horrible song. You shouldn't sing that
It's
song.
not a horrible song.
That song is evil.
He hates the Beatles, loves Frozen.
Hell yeah.
The Frozen is really decent.
It's really decent.
Anyway, moving off of that onto the end question, I'm not exactly sure what they could do. My guess is if they actually release some sort of substantive part of The Last Guardian, be it a demo or the first 10 minutes with gameplay, not just a CG trailer, that would probably placate some of the fears.
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
I mean, I wanted to touch up on another thing before going on to that. When Miles was discussing why they keep coming back and having to make announcements and stuff, okay, correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I may be remembering it a little bit wrong or a little bit differently than it actually happened, but I don't think Sony has ever came out and actually just made announcements of it still being in development. I think it was always asked in an interview by somebody at IGN or Game Informer or something like that, or Podcast Beyond or somewhere like that, where once it was asked in that interview with somebody in the industry, then all of a sudden it becomes this huge news story. Oh my God, it's still in development. It's still in development. Don't worry. Don't worry. And that's just every few months because so many people at Sony, Shuhei included, are in so many interviews that I think it's every time they're in an interview they get asked. And, what other way do you answer other than, yeah, it's still in development? That's all Shuhei's really said for the past year and a half. And it just keeps becoming a news story because people keep asking him.
Actually, this kind of reminds me of Metroid Prime before, or at least Samus before Metroid Prime. Because if you remember, the last Metroid game was Super Metroid on the SNES. They didn't have another game until the GameCube. And I don't think right away on the GameCube either. But that had a similar kind of pattern of every time they met with prominent Nintendo people, they'd ask, what about Metroid? What about Samus? And even though there was no real news, they were prompted to respond, we're still looking into it. There might, she's not done. We're going to continue development on something. But yeah, it's not uncommon that these things happen, especially, what people have to answer if asked questions in interviews.
Their answer should just be, it's over. Stop asking.
Yeah, see, here, asked by Eurogamer if Last Guardian is still in development, there's a response to that. There's the whole apology by IGN when they made the announcement that it was canceled when it was wrong news. And then there was in December, Colin had an interview with them, and he said the topic the conversation with IGN, the topic of The Last Guardian came up. And then of course, they replied, yes, it's still in development. It's just in conversations and in interviews, it just keeps coming up, and that's why it keeps becoming news. So it's our fault, guys. Everybody stop asking questions.
Yeah. So watch Pot. Okay, go.
Wait, what?
What?
Watch Pot?
I was gonna say a watched pot.
Okay.
I was like, what? Okay, sorry.
I was like, high people watching them get high and, do stupid things is funny, but, I was just gonna say, I just learned, cause I didn't notice this before, Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion came out on the same day. Didn't even know.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's a fun fact for all you, Metroid heads.
Alright, move on.
Yeah, I'm moving. I was actually trying to kill time before I got back to the page. So, story 8. Multiplayer may return for the next entry in the Mass Effect series, according to a tweet by the game's director, which is a wonderful thing if you haven't played the, Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. It was awesome. Chris Wynn, the senior development director for the next Mass Effect, tweeted a job listing for an, and I quote, excellent producer to come shape online for the next Mass Effect. BioWare and Electronic Arts teased the next installment at E3 last year. However, very little is known about the next entry. A multiplayer mode has not been officially revealed at this point either. It would be silly if they didn't include it though.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. It's silly when any game has multiplayer and then in a sequel they remove it.
Especially when it's successful multiplayer.
Yep.
I know a lot of games not really recently, but beforehand, a lot of games we have this amazing, single player experience, the story of a lifetime, and you can go shoot your friend in the foot in the multiplayer.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, right there.
Tomb Raiders wasn't awful, but it wasn't really like touted. Yeah. But
I don't know. If they include multiplayer, like competitive multiplayer and stuff in there, or even co-op multiplayer or something, that's awesome. I just did not like the way it was handled with Mass Effect 3, where it was tied into the story in a way where you built up the forces or whatever to save people at the end of the game. Like, I hated that with a passion. I was like, I do not want to play multiplayer right now, but I want to play my game and finish the story. And that means I have to have 50% protection? That's stupid.
Now, I know if you wanted to get, supposedly if you wanted to get the best ending, you didn't have to play multiplayer, but it was like, it's really hard to get that best ending without multiplayer, and also, I wouldn't have minded that as much if it didn't degrade over time. That was the thing I hated the most.
Yep.
Like, you could get up to, I guess, I forgot how it worked, but you could get up to essentially 100% for the multiplayer, but if you didn't play for like 3 days, it was back down to like 50 or even 0. And I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
But
now, I haven't tried Dragon Age's multiplayer, and I know it doesn't have any integration. Courtney, have you played the Dragon Age one?
I haven't, dug into it. I know that it has integration to the story in a sense that, it's tied to the story that you're a group of people under the command of your commander in the main story, going out on missions and stuff for him. But that's about the extent of the connection, I believe. We actually might be doing a Let's Play series for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I smell a Let's Play coming up.
So that's been talked about already. I'm excited if that actually happens.
I will level up my character. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter how much you level up your main.
Nope.
Anyway, my question is, would you prefer that the multiplayer aspect is handled in the same way?
Ooh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
in terms of, go ahead.
Go on. No, go ahead.
In terms of how it worked, like I said, I greatly enjoyed it, and this is also someone who doesn't enjoy multiplayer a lot, simply because I don't like getting killed. But it was more like horde mode than it was like kill your friends, you know.
Are you talking about Mass Effect 3s?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I think he was talking about Dragon Age.
Okay. My bad.
But
I haven't played
fine,
Dragon Ages.
That's still fine. You're still talking about a BioWare multiplayer game, at least.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, horde mode is fun, if you ask me, because it's like, you have the stress of failing, but, you're working with your friends and stuff, and a lot of my friends are better at this kind of stuff, so, if it was me against them, I'd die constantly, so.
Alright, let's move on.
Alright. Yeah, my voice again for 3 stories. Yeah, you love it. Microsoft is holding an Ultimate Game Sale this week, and some of the highlight game sale or titles that you can pick up for cheap are Alien Isolation, and this is going to be the Xbox One stuff. Should I bother mentioning the Xbox 360 stuff?
Just the one I brought up earlier.
Okay. That was
State of Decay.
State of Decay. Thank you. I completely forgot. The game is not on my radar. But anyway, for Xbox One, you can get Alien Isolation, and keep in mind the discounts are different for each silver or gold account that you have, essentially. So, well, not each account, but there's a gold price and silver price. For gold, you get 60% off. For silver, you get 50% off, so it's still a great deal. There's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, 33% and 33%. So, I guess that just made me a liar. Destiny, again, 33% off. Games like, going down the list, Shadows of Mordor, 40% off for gold, 33% off for silver. The Crew, if anyone actually wants to play that, 33% off for gold, 25% off for silver. And, the Telltale Games collection, everyone wants to play that, is, 50% off and 40% off. And as for the 360, you guys got a lot of sales too, but no one has one of those anymore, so, State of Decay, excuse me, State of Decay is going to be 75% off for gold and 67 for silver. And also the orange box, if anyone actually wants to get that, is the same discounts.
Well, and I was going to bring up the reason we brought up State of Decay is because if you get it on, if you already have it on 360 or if you buy it now on sale for 360, you'll get a discount for the Xbox One version when it comes out in April. So if you already plan on getting that, I believe the way it adds up is if you buy this sale right now, you'll get the Xbox One version for a cheaper price than it would be without the game. So you might as well buy State of Decay for like $6 or whatever it is right now on Xbox Live. That way you'll get a cheaper Xbox One version, even if you don't even have a 360, it's still there. And I guess one more to mention for 360 is South Park Stick of Truth. That's 50% off. That's probably a good one. Yeah. So that's a huge deal. What's really weird about this was there was originally more than these. There were more games in the sale, and they went live ahead of time, and now they're not for sale anymore. Like, now you can't buy them. They're not on there. Like Halo, the Master Chief Collection, it was discounted to, I believe, like $30 or $24 or something like that. No longer for sale. What's the other one? What's Lords of the Fallen or whatever that game is. That game you could get up until today for $9. It was like 85% off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I didn't pull the trigger in time, and now it's gone for some reason because they didn't include it in the actual sale, and the sale went up. And I was going to get it. I was like, damn, $9 for that? Not bad. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if they're gonna go live, in a few days maybe again, or if that was just some random ass sale. But I will add that, Lou, have you gone through the Xbox Marketplace on the Xbox One yet? Like, have you tried finding stuff on there?
It's nearly impenetrable.
It is so stupidly put together. It pisses me off because I was gonna do it last night. That's what I was saying. I was gonna go and get that game, and I couldn't find shit on there. Like, it is just ridiculous. And there was nothing about the sale up there. Like, they don't have advertisements for sales and things. Like, on PSN, it is so obvious because they just have this giant banner. It's like, hey, we have this, Critics' Choice sale. We have this, Access sale. We have this, all these sales. You just click on it and it takes you to all of the games for sale. It's just, why not make it easier on your players, Xbox? Like, if you want to sell games, then make it easier. Oh, right. It's so frustrating.
My friend just got a PlayStation 4. He's been in the Xbox camp since he jumped into or jumped out of the Nintendo fan base. He still plays a lot of Nintendo games, but Xbox was his go-to. He has an Xbox One, and he's like, you know what? There's a lot of great deals going on for PlayStation 4 right now. I think I'm going to make the plunge. I'm going to be multi-platform. And he just can't believe how much better the interface is. Just the UI in general. He says that without looking at the rest of the games, the UI itself makes the PlayStation better than the Xbox.
I am absolutely of the same opinion. Absolutely. I was a PlayStation 4 user long before I was Xbox One, and I heard horror stories about Xbox One's user interface, and it's just it's true, I cannot stand navigating the Xbox One UI. It's not fun to do. Not fun at all.
Right.
But anyways, while we're on the topic of sales, Sony is also holding their own sale. I'm assuming it's to combat the Ultimate Game Sale for Microsoft because it's the same timeline. So some of the highlights on that sale, you can go to on PSN right now, like on the store, or you could find it on the browser, but you can get Dragon Age Inquisition for $35.99, which is a 40% sale. You can get Dark Souls 2 for $20. You can get Shadow of Mordor's, what is this? It's the PS3 version for $25. It doesn't have the listing price for the PS4 version, but it says up to 50% on it for some reason. You can get Destiny for $40. You can get FIFA 15 for $30. You can get Call of Duty, for $40. You can get Far Cry 4 for $35. You can get South Park for $15. Child of Light for $6. Wolfenstein for $24. Let's see, Hohokam for $7.50. Danganronpa 1 and 2, for $20 and then $24 respectively. And then my favorite of it is the Telltale, games collection, which you can get for frickin' $44.
Nice. Now that's every
Telltale game, like in the past 2 years or whatever. It's The Walking Dead Season 1, Season 2, Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones. And Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones, those come with the season pass, so you'll have to download each episode as it comes out. But $44 freaking for all 5 games. That's actually $11 cheaper than the Xbox One sale for it right now. So if you wanted it on there, it's there. And then also Diablo is on sale. It's half price, 45% off. So I might
get that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might be getting that one.
Yeah. Actually, I can confirm that Middle-earth for PS4 is $24.99.
Cool. Okay, good. Good.
And this sale is kind of wonderful because, like, I've been thinking about the only 2 physical games I have for my PS4 are Destiny and Dragon Age.
Yeah.
And I was actually been thinking about getting them digitally because I hate having to get up and switch them. So,
dude, one of my other friends was just saying the same thing like yesterday. That's crazy.
Yeah. So this might be this might be it.
Yeah. Metro Redo for $25. Tales of Exilia for $12. Oh man. Awesome. Some awesome sales right now on both Xbox and PlayStation. How freaking cool is that? All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm already checking eBay to see how much I can sell my Ghost Edition for.
Nice.
All right. Speaking of things I'm going to spend way too much money on, Nintendo outlined its best-selling Amiibos by country during its investor meeting. Not today. When was that? The investor meeting? A couple days ago?
A couple days ago. Or maybe yesterday. I don't even remember.
Something. When you hear this, it will have been in the past.
Yep.
So, take solace in that. So, we have the best-selling ranks for Amiibo. And I'll just give the top 3 for each location. In Japan, the top 3 are Link, Kirby, and Mario. In the US plus Canada, it's Link, Mario, and Peach. In Europe, it's Link, Mario, and Pikachu. And in Australia, it's Mario, Pikachu, and Link. So Link is clearly the front runner, I would say.
Yeah.
Then they also released the sell-through rate chart, and I'm not 100% sure, I didn't look this up. I'm guessing by sell-through they mean, the amount of, these are the Amiibo who have sold almost their entire stock.
Yes, yeah, it's their stock was sold through.
Right. So,
percentage of it at least, sorry.
So in Japan, the top percentage sold, Captain Falcon, Pit, and Little Mac. In US and Canada, Marth, which will be seeing a re-release, so don't worry. Villager and Wii Fit Trainer. Villager, by the way, is like $80 to $100. It's ridiculous. Europe, Little Mac, Rosalina, and Villager. And in Australia, Ike, Mega Man, and Sonic.
That's, it's interesting that Marth is the number 1 sold through at US and Canada. Obviously, Marth is really, really hard to find, so it's actually one of the better selling ones compared to its stock,
Yeah.
Right.
So it seems like Link and Mario kind of got screwed on the second one simply because, like, they probably anticipate a lot of people will want Link and Mario, so they're like, give them like 5,000 as compared to Marth's like 200.
Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to get at. It's this kind of stat tracking thing right here, for sold through is really weird for them to show because those are all manufactured percentages, If they only put out 200 Marths, of course 100% of them are gonna sell compared to 4 million Link, It's just, I don't know. I find that really strange, especially when they didn't tell us the total number produced of anything, so we really don't have any idea.
Right. I think the most curious thing about that is why not give percentages?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would work great for investors if they were to look at that and go, holy shit, Marth sold 97% of the stock we had. I mean, if those are the inflated numbers that you want to give, at least go all the way and really just try to trick your investors.
That's good point.
I'm thinking like a lawyer already.
Dirty business.
This next story for Nintendo is awesome.
Yeah. So we're going to, I want to actually preempt this and say that we had this whole Amiibo discussion about a year ago.
Yep.
When they first announced it. And I want to remind people that I actually said that this is what they should use it for.
Yep.
So, number 12. The Nintendo investor meeting revealed that in the future, each figurine, Amiibo figurine, will unlock timed trial versions of the Wii U's Virtual Console. With this software, when you activate an Amiibo, you will be able to play a famous scene from either an NES or SNES title that corresponds with the figurine until the trial time runs out. If you activate that same Amiibo, the trial scenes will rotate, and you'll also have the option of purchasing the VC title.
That is so cool. Like, that is exactly what we talked about. Like you said, a year ago, like, whenever we first started hearing about Amiibo, and we had so many questions, we didn't really know, but everyone was so excited. Like, you put forth this idea, you're like, this would be the way to handle it, and more people would enjoy buying these figurines if they had these either demos or games or scenes or, like, that is a really, really good marketing, plan.
Right. And it really brings in the whole brand loyalty stuff. Like, sure, there's a lot of people who buy a Marth, and they remember him from Smash Bros. But when they plug him in and they can play a little bit of Fire Emblem, they're gonna want to go and play more Fire Emblem.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking, because it would cause many, many, many more people to buy older games. And I know I would be the same way. I would end up, I'm gonna buy a Mario or something, and gonna put it in, and it's like, hey, do you want to play Super Mario Bros. 3? And it's like, you know what? Why not? Let's play this demo real quick. And then it's gonna just cause me to have that nostalgic urge to buy the title and to just replay it all. Like, I can't wait. That'll be awesome.
Right. And I think the one reason why it's really, really good with Super Smash Bros. Is because when you look at that character select screen, you see things like Mario, who of course you have tons of memories with, and Meta Knight. And Meta Knight is someone who I'm guessing you could care less about.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's from.
Right.
Kirby.
So he's from Kirby. So if you were to log him in and play a little bit of a game that has him in it, he's no longer a character on a select screen, but he's a more rounded character. It turns these Nintendo characters into less just random things to like iconic beings in the same way Disney does it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Awesome deal.
It'll be interesting to see how well this goes off. Well, I mean, we know it's going to be successful simply because, but
it already is.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part about it, I guess, is the fact that these figurines, they're already proven to be super popular and super successful. And this is Nintendo adding in something that they didn't really have to do because it is so popular, but they're doing it anyways. That's really cool. Well, they're kind of intelligent. kind of intelligent. When it comes to a few things, they are. When it comes to others, people wonder why they still even exist. So, but
I want to think that they are just touched with the most obscene amount of luck, and that they just make random business decisions that always happen to be correct at times.
Yeah. I'm more hoping for kind of like politics, that the old generation is dying out and the new generation is finally taking over. It's like, hey guys, we're really fucking up. We need to do something.
Kind of like what Sony went through.
Yeah, exactly.
At the beginning of during the PS2 to PS3 transition.
Yep. And then back to PS4, that transitional phase. Okay, so we have one more question. Other than the one we answered earlier from Mike. And again, thank you, Mike, for sending in that question, even if it was the last minute. Miles was quite emphatic that he didn't want to include it on the podcast because it was so late.
Yeah, I know. I was like, no, we're not doing that.
Nope, too late. Even though we hadn't actually started yet. Alright, so the question was sent in by Toonday,
Pronounced Toonday.
Pronounced Toonday. Which if you want to send us a question, you could send an email to contact.mong@gmail.com. We'll be sure to read it off on the podcast, or if you just have any comments, you can send it there. And his question is, with the recent backlash, with Evolve having $60 worth of DLC, you can buy all the DLC in bundles for a cheaper price. What is your take on DLC? Do you think devs released their DLC plans way too early, which is why the vocal minority claims content was removed from the game? Is DLC overpriced, nowadays? Question by question. What's your take on DLC as a whole?
DLC can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. I mean, let's be honest. It's black and white. Some people enjoy it, some people don't.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would go so far as to say it's a bad thing. I would say that some DLC is awesome while others I just don't care for. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what game we're talking about. If it's for The Last of Us, I'm gonna buy DLC, you know? But if it's for, let's say, Evolve even, I've only played one match of that so far. I don't care for it, you know, I'm not gonna go buy DLC, but I'm not gonna, you know, complain that other people want to get it or something. Like, I don't know. It's different.
Right.
Lou, what do you think about DLC?
DLC is a little difficult because there's so many different types of DLC. Yeah. I could care less about any type of costume DLC, for instance.
Same here. Mm-hmm.
That can release at any time. However, I'm also of the same mind that if I have a substantive story mission and it's released on day one, I think that is a wrong move. Either wrong move from the developing standpoint where they should have waited to just throw that in, or they should have just held it off and given it out later.
Now, do you have a game in mind or a reference to that? Because I can't think of anything like that.
How about Far Cry? Did that have the Herc's Redemption one for the people who bought it with the pre-order?
But how are you describing it as a story mission?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because you can't make a claim if you don't have an example to use it as. Because I understand what you mean, because that would be really shady. I just can't think of any really good examples. Like, other than maybe, and I don't even know if it was released at the same time. Wasn't Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Revelations one of them released and had, what was it? Memory sequence 11 or 12 missing from the storyline?
Yeah, there's definitely one of those.
That's really silly.
Yeah,
it wasn't a whole lot. It didn't really tie into a bunch of stuff, but it was DLC, and that was really strange.
Yeah, I gotta look into this more. But I remember that there have been cases in the past, I think on a very limited basis, because people aren't stupid. Advertising companies know what it looks like. But I think that there should be some distance between when the DLC is released and when the game is released. And I'll explain to that. I'll go into that more when we discuss some of these later questions.
Yeah, I think that point specifically, it depends on what kind of DLC we're talking about on how late they could release, because games like Evolve, how it doesn't have story DLC and it's just like aesthetic, you know, like different characters, different guns, things like that. That's basically a free to play model with a paid game, you know, releasing that kind of things. They release a game, but they release a bunch of extra stuff that you can get if you want, but you don't have to get, and it's not going to make you any better. Like, I don't have a problem with that, you know, it's unless you're just super crazy about the game and you feel like you need all $60 worth of DLC just so you could be different characters and look differently and have different monsters, then, you know, more power to you. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you have to waste another $60. But, like, I don't know. It's not sketchy for them to do that.
Right. Yeah. That I think is fine. What I'm talking to more is when I get a substantive DLC.
Yeah.
I want that to be something that I've forgotten about this game, and suddenly there's DLC, I pick it up, and it's like brand new again. You know, I don't want it to come out a week later or 2 weeks later. I want it to be like a solid month. I want a little bit of a break from the game.
Last of Us Left Behind, where it was like a 7-month break.
Exactly, or Mario Kart, for instance, where I'm coming back every 4 or 5 months and they have new stuff, and I sit there and I play it all weekend again. I tell my friends to come over and play it all weekend.
But then that's also almost anti-business in many cases, because you know, many of these companies release DLC a month later or a few weeks later because they don't want people to sell back immediately. They want to keep their game relevant a little bit longer. And there are certain games, like multiplayer games, kind of like Mario Kart, but more like Call of Duty, Evolve, and stuff like that, where you would think that the faster you release DLC, the longer people are going to play, rather than waiting a year before they release stuff. Like a single player thing, they can release it several months later and it still be fine. But a multiplayer game, I get burnt out so fast on that I would need more content quickly.
The reason why I'm not exactly sure with that is, actually, you know what, let me sit on that. Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, so one of the questions he asked, do you think the devs released their DLC plans too early, which is why the vocal minority claims content was removed from the game? And that question is kind of similar to, we were asked a few weeks ago by Dennis. He asked if you're buying a game based off of pre-order bonus content on a promise, they took it out of the game to put it in the pre-order or whatever, is that anti-consumer? Which we talked about how that was putting words in our mouth, because I explained how most of this content, this day one content or really early DLC, wasn't being made the entire time the game was being developed, and it wasn't content that was pulled. It's actually content that they started making after the game was sent off for QA. They finished the game and now they need to test it. And they're testing for bugs and things like that for the final 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 or 6 months. The game has already been done for a very long time. And so during that time, when they're just waiting on test, that's when they're starting to work on a lot of DLC. So it's never removed from the game. It's never content that was always planned to be there. And yeah, it's a very vocal minority who claims that content was removed from the game. And they're just uneducated. They're ignorant on the whole process. Which doesn't really, obviously devs do release plans for DLC. It doesn't help when they announce it super early. It doesn't help combat the minority, but they're letting some of the fans know, hey, we've got more content coming, don't worry.
Right. And it also gives them a reason to buy the season pass.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't go on a limb and buy a season pass for a game almost ever unless they tell me what happens beforehand.
And a lot of people buy the season pass whenever they buy the game. Or they pre-order the season pass when they pre-order the game. And if they don't know what's coming, they don't know to pre-order it ahead of time. There's several games that have a pre-order plan or a season pass 6 months ahead of time, like Assassin's Creed. If I was going to play all that DLC, you can guarantee when I went into GameStop or Best Buy or whatever, I would pre-order them both at the same time. So it's very business. It makes a lot of business sense for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like in this environment, it might not hurt for the developer to I don't know, maybe hold it up until closer to the release, because nowadays we're getting stuff like, oh, the game just got announced at E3. When it's ready to release, you get another 5 missions for $15. But I don't think that it's completely the developer's fault, because you're right. A lot of people don't understand that it's not like the game that you're playing today was finished yesterday, because that doesn't happen.
Nope.
If that were true, you would probably not be able to play it, and then you'd have something else to complain about. There'd be a game-breaking glitch that stops you from walking through a door, and you just throw your controller at your TV.
Yep.
So, I mean, it doesn't hurt for the devs to release their plans later, maybe, I don't know, a week before, or I don't know.
A week doesn't give time to pre-order though, because that's the business part of it. And it's more about the publishers than it is the devs, don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think the publishers are pushing hey, do you have content? We need to advertise it. We've got this is the advertisement plan.
The combination of stupidity of people and not money grubbing, that sounds bad. Advertising time frames. Yeah, that sounds better. The combination of those two things makes it so there's no good way to do this. There's no good way to do this.
There is a good way to do this. You just give everything for free, like The Witcher.
The Witcher, yeah.
Okay,
well, that's not going to be everything. They said that it's only little DLC. The stuff that you should get for free is going to be free, but they didn't say anything about further story DLC or anything after that. They said it's going to be like weapons and stuff. But
I would really like to have gotten the crap. I'm gonna call it crap that I got for my Dragon Age for free.
Yep, me too.
So that would have saved me some money.
Yep.
But
I mean, I'm with you, Miles. I totally think that they could hold off, and it would help with the minority. But I think at the end of the day, when a publisher looks at it and they're like, we could announce this 5 months ahead of time. Is this going to upset our fan base or whatever? I can guarantee that they decide that the money they're going to lose from people being, butthurt about a season pass being announced that far ahead of time is far less than the money they're going to make from people pre-ordering the season pass. I'm sure that's one of those, they weigh their options and they find out what's better.
Right. I mean, this is just going to be how things are going to be, it seems.
Yep.
It's like we can come up with some theoretical better way to do this, but this is how it's going to be because that's how it works. And, oh well.
Oh well. Now do you think DLC is overpriced?
Some of it is.
One monster for $15?
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I would be like, I haven't played Evolve. I don't think I'm going to, because honestly, the concept is like, it sounds fun, but it doesn't sound worth my money right now.
Yeah.
And, the idea of paying $15 for one monster, that's a quarter of the game price for one monster. So it's like, how about maybe like $3 or $5 at most?
Yep.
Not $15. Like, okay, I haven't looked into it. That comes with the Goliath, and does it come with skins for the Goliath? Or?
I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
I'm curious now, someone filled time.
I mean, DLC, for most of the industry, DLC is pretty standard on prices. It's normally like, anywhere between $2.99 and like $5.99 for little things, sometimes even 99 cents for like costumes and stuff like that. And then for like full on story DLC, it's typically like $14.99. Like if you're gonna buy a story DLC, you can almost guarantee it's gonna be $15. And if you want a season pass, it's either gonna be $20 or $25. If you're Call of Duty, it's gonna be $30 or $40. Like those are just so hammered in now. Like we can expect that from almost all DLC coming out. Evolve kind of shook that when they added a $15 monster that's free for pre-orders.
Yeah, and I looked up what's in the pack. In that pack, you get access to the Behemoth when it comes out. You also get immediate access to the Goliath Savage skin, which was another pre-order bonus. I don't know why that's in the Goliath pack, or Behemoth pack. And it sounds like you get instant access to the Behemoth, I think. Which is like, for anyone who doesn't know, for Evolve, you have to like level up skills and other characters to unlock more characters down the line, so you don't immediately have access to all 12 hunters and all 3 monsters.
Right.
So essentially, you're getting a monster, a skin for a different monster, and instant access to the Behemoth, who is the 4th monster. That's not worth $15.
Not to me. That's definitely
not remotely.
Nope.
I would be infuriated if I bought that. Like, I would never buy something without knowing what I'm getting, but if I bought that without knowing what was in it, and I saw that was all I got for $15, I would be absolutely infuriated.
Yeah.
Right there with you. Lou, do you have a comment about prices?
Not so much with this game. I haven't really played it besides the alpha, and the alpha, I mean, I haven't played it since, but if it was going off the quality that it was in the alpha, which it's not, thank God, I wouldn't have spent $10 on the game.
Yeah.
But I sat there for up to an hour waiting for one match, and luckily luckily it's improved since.
Yeah.
So I can't make any final determination of what the DLC is worth or even what the game's worth. I think
for other DLCs, so like the Mario Kart DLC, the Zelda pack or whatever, like games like that, like do you think it's fairly priced, or do you think the majority of DLC on games are overpriced now?
I feel like Nintendo DLC is very reasonably priced, and other DLC is generally far overpriced.
Fair enough.
I think Nintendo does DLC very well, but that comes down to the fact, not so much about price, but what you get for it.
That and Nintendo also doesn't have a whole lot of DLC anyways.
Right, so whenever they do, it's normally a good amount for what you're getting. I mean, for Mario Kart 8, you get a quarter of the game for a pittance, like $10.
Something like that, yeah. Alrighty, let's move on to the game releases this week before we wrap it up.
Sounds good.
On PS4, we've got Dead or Alive 5, Last Round, the titty fighting game. And then Hand of Fate, a card game, which we have a review coming up for soon. And then Paparazzi, Hubert Rebooted, Trivial Pursuit Live, and then the always in the news, The Order 1886. On PlayStation 3, we've got, I guess I should also add, The Order 1886 is the only game releasing on Friday. So all the other ones are Tuesday like normal. PlayStation 3 has Q*bert Rebooted, which I guess I should also mention is cross-buy, and it's on all 3 PlayStation platforms. And then Treasures of Montezuma Arena, and then Trivial Pursuit Live, and then on PlayStation Vita we've got Dead Man's Cross and Q*bert Rebooted.
I'm kind of interested in Q*bert Rebooted.
Are you not?
Why would you be interested in Q*bert Rebooted? I'm actually curious.
I have very slight memories of playing Q*bert as a kid. Not a lot. I was like, whenever I was at a friend's house for some reason, he might be playing Q*bert because he was too poor to afford a real person's video game system. Or video games. I'm just speaking I'm just speaking from the heart here.
A real person's game. I'm gonna move on that.
I would say 2 Q*bert games. You get 2 Q*bert games in Rebooted, and then on all 3 platforms for the price of 1. That's how they're advertising it.
See,
apparently that's for not real people.
To be fair, I used to treat Sega kids as second-class citizens.
I mean, that's accurate though. Okay. For Xbox One, you get Hand of Fate on Tuesday. Yay. Xbox 360, you get Trivial Pursuit Live. Those are that's like a dying system. They need to let it die.
Yeah. On the Wii U, we have Paparazzi. Who knows what that game is? And, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which I'm really looking forward to. On the 3DS, we have X-Cave, Adventure Bar Story, and Flap Flap, which I'm gonna bet is a Flappy Bird knockoff. Please let it be.
on 3DS, that would be awesome.
I'm gonna look it up. Flap Flap. Cause it's not like Flappy Bird already stole the concept art and whatnot from Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Flap Flap 3DS.
Oh my god, it's a Flappy Bird-like game. Oh my god.
Wait, is this gonna become a genre now? Flappy Bird-like? Just like roguelike?
Deliciously diabolical. Summon up all your skill, precision, and nerves of steel. Flap Flap won't go easy on you.
Oh my god.
Bit of a lightweight, then all the bonuses and special abilities will come in handy. Unfortunately, there are also enemies and obstacles to make things complicated too. Interesting. Sorry, go on, Lou.
They're very much using all of the Nintendo assets still.
Yep. Mario.
And they've lifted the Angry Birds look.
Yep, that's true.
Future reference, don't look up Flap Flap on Google, because you're going to get a lot of stuff you didn't expect.
I googled Flap Flap 3DS. So.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the 3DS. I regret it.
Did you go to images?
I did, because I just wanted to see what the game looked like. And
alright.
No.
I did not get that.
Let's move on.
Anyway, for PC, you're getting Total War Attila. Or, is it Attila or Attia?
I have no idea.
No, it's
Attila the Hun? Yeah, there you go.
Morningstar, Descent to Dead Rock. Okay. Descent to Dead Rock. Hand of Fate, Idle Hands are the Devil's Play. What is it? Devil's Place? Workplace?
Playground.
Playground, thank you.
Read this one.
Oh. Mystery of Nishwanson?
I have no idea how to pronounce
Neuschwanstein.
Neuschwanstein. Mystery of Neuschwanstein. Agorist, Generations of War 2, Medieval Engineers, Men of War, Assault Squad, Iron Fists, a lot of punctuation in that one, Camera Obscura, which is surprisingly hard to say, Rescue Team, The Book of Unwritten Tales 2, what? That doesn't make sense, Hector, Pixel Puzzles 2, Birds, and Hero of the Kingdom 2.
Camera Obscura.
Neuschwanstein!
Okay, so it's a PC game, only PC, a platformer and puzzle. Is there a description? I can't find a description.
Sounds a little obscure.
An ancient tower, an ancient tower in a forgotten land. A lone photographer on a desperate search. A once-in-a-lifetime chance. Camera Obscura is a puzzle platformer where you attempt to summit a ruined tower, a relic of a fanatical sect trying to reach the sun, facing dangerous animals, crumbling architecture, and perilous pitfalls. Can you reach the summit and perhaps redemption?
Wait, redemption for what?
I have no idea.
Also, fun fact, Neuschwanstein is not a word.
Oh, really? I was thinking it was like a German mental hospital.
Maybe
Nope.
a place?
I googled, I Google
it's a
Translate.
castle.
Is it?
Yeah, Neuschwanstein Castle.
Oh, I just used Google Translate. I guess it's somebody's name or something.
Anyways. Okay, so that wraps up episode 71 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. Thank you all for listening. And again, like earlier, you can contact us by emailing contact.mong@gmail.com for all of your questions that we could read off on the podcast, or topics for QuickTime events. If you want to argue any of our points or argue against us, feel free to email us. And then you can find us on Twitter by searching for @mong.com, and then on YouTube by searching for Mong Network, and that's where all of our podcasts will go. And then also our new YouTube channel, Mong Plays, and you can find that by just going to like the channels page on Mong Network, or you could search for it or whatever. But that's where all of our Let's Play videos are going to be going. And then you can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram by searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. And then, of course, check out the website, middleofnowheregaming.com, for all the latest editorials, features, news, reviews, podcasts, videos, all the good stuff. And then we're all on Twitter. You can find me at Osborne_2009. You can find Lou at
Lou Cantaldi.
and you can find Miles at
Furious Milk.
My Left and Right Shark. It was a good one. Very good one.
We're all here again.
Yeah, that's nice.
We'll start a new streak.
We're at 1. Mong!
Mong!
Keep it milky, folks.